Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and I'm here to review the October 1988 issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated with Sting on the cover. So let's open up the magazine and start reviewing. So they got a first ad for the July 12th issue of Inside Wrestling. They have the table of contents. Between the Fall, where the fans write into the magazine. Got an ad for Michael Hayes' fan club. Michael Hayes and the Fabulous Freebirds. Show your support for the baddest of the bad and the meanest of the mean. So there's Michael Hayes t-shirts and bandanas and a cassette, of course, of Off the Backstreet Michael Hayes Off the Wall. I don't know if it's off. I forget. I don't know if it's called Off the Wall, but Off the Streets. Yeah, Michael Hayes Off the Streets. The continuation of Between the Fall news letters, videotape of the year about Japan women's wrestling, slant-eyed slaughter and riot of the rising sun. Slant-eyed slaughter. Never be able to say that again. That's horrible, even for back then. That's horrible name. Ringside, all the latest happenings with Bill Apter, and he talks about Scott Steiner winning the Renegade Rampage tournament. He beat Robert Fuller. You know, I had seen because I always seen the Renegade Rampage sign on the mat, but I never knew exactly what it was for. But okay, it's apparently for a tournament, and Scott Steiner won it. Won a big check. From the desk with Stu Sachs, and he just talks about the rules and how so many bad guys don't follow them, and how the referees don't enforce them. And he was like, "What's the point of having rules if everybody keep breaking them?" So in Focus, they have rumor versus fact, and they have some rumors, and then they hit you with the facts of what's real and what's not. The first rumor is Paul Orndorff is dead. At the time, he was not dead. He owned a bowling alley, and he was becoming a professional bowler. So that obviously that was fact at the time. I mean, that was rumor at the time. Rumor: Eddie Gilbert and Missy Hyatt have gotten a divorce. At the time, that was totally untrue. Just because Missy is the most beautiful woman in the world, Eddie Gilbert told me, people like to think all sorts of things about her. We're still married. We've never been happier. And we wish people would forget our private lives and concentrate on what happens in the ring. So at the time, they were not married. I mean, at the time, they were still married, but they would later get a divorce. And just if you want to read about that divorce, you can get this new Eddie Gilbert book that I just picked up. So I guess they will explain at the time when they did get divorced and why. So just a cheap plug. I mean, I'm not getting paid for it, but just a cheap plug. They have a Pro Wrestling Illustrated survey. What sort of person reads Pro Wrestling Illustrated? So they ask questions like, do you receive Pro Wrestling Illustrated by mail, or do you pick it up by newsstands? Which promotion do you watch regularly? Your yearly income, household income. So I guess they just want to know, do rich people watch it? I mean, do rich people buy it or poor people? Because, like Dave Meltzer said, poor people hate WWE. Poor people hate AEW. So, whatever. Back issues of The Wrestler for only $3. If I would have only known back then, I would have got all of these for just $3. Dave Rosenbaum interviews the Dirty White Girl, aka Lady Mystic. He assumed when he was going to interview her, take her on a lunch date, that she was going to wear a bunch of provocative clothes and be dirty, but she was actually very nice and wore nice clothes and was very demure. So he was shocked about that. But she said she has two sides. She's nasty one way, then she can be nice and proper the next. So off the top rope with Eddie Elner. It just his responding to fans. An ad for the Von Erich, not DVD, but a cassette tape and book. And I just always started looking at this. This was like such a weird picture of Mike. It looks like they took this right after he got out of, the hospital. I know they're like better looking pictures of this guy. Why would they pick that one? I mean, that's the first time I even seen him, and he just looks so scary. Though they could have got a better picture of him. And now the official ratings for the period ended June 8th, 1988. You have the top 10, the NWA World Champion Ric Flair. Number 2, WWF Champion Randy Savage. Number 3, AWA World Champion Jerry Lawler. Number 4, Ted DiBiase. Number 5, Sting. Number 6, Lex Luger. Number 7, Kerry Von Erich. Number 8, the WWF Intercontinental Champion, the Honky Tonk Man. Number 9, the NWA TV and Florida Champion, Mike Rotundo. And number 10, the World Class Texas Champion, Terry Taylor. You got the top tag teams. Number 1, Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, the NWA World Tag Team Champions. Number 2, you got the WWF World Tag Team Champions, Demolition. Number 3, you got the Road Warriors. Number 4, you got the U.S. Tag Team Champions, the Fantastics. Number 5, you got the Midnight Express. Number 6, you got the AWA World Tag Team Champions, Bad Company. Number 9, you got the Powers of Pain. Number 10, you got Number 7, you got the Powers of Pain. Number 8, you got Strike Force. Number 9, you got John Tatum and Jack Victory. And number 10, you got Steve Williams and Nikita Koloff. And for the ratings analysis, they actually have the top 5 contenders for the Intercontinental Champion and the US Champion. So the top contenders for the Intercontinental Champion, the Honky Tonk Man. Number 1 is Brutus Beefcake. Number 2 is Hacksaw Duggan. Number 3 is Jake Roberts. Number 4 is Bam Bam Bigelow. And number 5 is Bret Hart. The top contenders for Barry Windham's U.S. Championship. Number 1 is Dusty Rhodes. Number 2 is Lex Luger. Number 3 is Sting. Number 4 is Nikita Koloff. And number 5 is Tully Blanchard. Cover this article. Jerry Lawler's wife reveals the AWA title has turned my husband into a monster. Now, I didn't know Jerry Lawler turned heel so close after winning the AWA title because I wasn't watching Memphis Wrestling. But based on this article, he became very arrogant and started treating her very bad and was going against Bill Dundee and turning on Bill Dundee and stuff like that. So, like I said, I didn't watch it this time, so I knew he eventually turned heel in Memphis, but I didn't realize it was this early. So Paula thinks he's a bad guy now, his wife. And okay, double feature are advertisements for Lord of the Ring and Ringmaster. Press conference of Ricky Steamboat. This was after WrestleMania 4. So he was talking about stepping away from wrestling for a while and be with his son, his newborn son. PWI's Great American Contest, win a phone call from Sting. So this is something for the fans. I guess we'll have to write a little essay to see if they can receive a phone call from Sting, the Stinger. And the PWI pinup, Close Up, The Ultimate Warrior, where they talk about his career. And then, of course, a poster. And with that mustache, that looks like this is probably a Dingo Warrior photo shoot, but they just used as the Ultimate Warrior. And Ultimate Warrior's greatest match, February 2nd, was Bob Bradley. His favorite maneuver is the Gorilla Press and Slam. His toughest opponent, Kevin Von Erich. And his most hated opponent, Hercules Hernandez. Now we got this article, Randy Savage vs. Ted DiBiase, how this feud controls Hulk Hogan's destiny. And it's basically saying, if Randy Savage wins, Hulk Hogan won't challenge for the title because he doesn't want to ruin his friendship with Randy Savage or doesn't want to overshadow him. But if Ted DiBiase wins, then he's going to wrestle for the title and get it back because he doesn't like Ted DiBiase. So, and this is the media review article, and they're basically talking about ITV Wrestling stopping ITV Wrestling ITV Network starting to stop airing British wrestling, and it might continue. It's going to start. I think start showing WWF wrestling, but it's going to end Britain wrestling, end showing Britain wrestling from England. And Dr. Death's prescription for Mike Rotundo: quit the Varsity Club. So this is just basically Steve Williams talking about how great Mike Rotundo is as a wrestler, but what a shame it is that he's being brainwashed by Kevin Sullivan and totally changing how he is, becoming a madman. But this is the best. I think Mike Rotundo from the Varsity Club was the best version of Mike Rotundo. This is when I first saw him when he was Captain Mike. And between this version and Captain Mike, where he was he was captain of a boat or something, and then Erwin R. Shyster, I think this was the Mike Rotundo of the Varsity Club was the best version of Mike Rotundo. Continuation of Between the Falls. They have this month highlighting what's happening in the upcoming issues of The Wrestler and Inside Wrestling. Wrestler outfits. I used to watch this when I used to get the magazine and see this. Man, I wish I could get these all the time. They had the outfits, the tights, boots, the title. Man, I wish I could have got this. This is stuff I used to look at all the time. Wish I could have got this. In continuation of Ringside. Continuation of From the Desk, where they talk about the rules and how the lack of wrestlers following the rules. Back issues of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Yeah, I actually like this too, being on the cover of Wrestling Magazine of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. This is another thing I wanted. Would have been cool. They should probably. I guess they can just Photoshop that stuff now, but it'd be cool if they could still have this. A continuation of the press conference with Ricky Steamboat. Back issues of Sports Review Wrestling. Advertisement for Wrestling 88 for today's wrestling fan. And premium back issues of Pro Wrestling Illustrated Annual. The Arena Report, where fans give reports of the matches from around the world. Back issues of Inside Wrestling. Wrestling Inquirer. Petitions led to the Rock and Roll's return. Crockett, overwhelming fan response couldn't be ignored. So the Rock and Roll Express did come back after leaving in January of '88. But when they came back, I don't think they lasted long. They were there, then they just left. I didn't even realize they came back. And Cornette, Fantastics Alliance Possible. The Midnight Rockers Challenge Demolition. World Class to Review DQ Rule. All in the Wrestling Inquirer. And the PWI poll, the subject, Wyndham joins the Four Horsemen. Did Wyndham make the right career choice in joining the Four Horsemen? 53% say yes, 40% say no, 7 are undecided. Was Wyndham the best possible choice to fill the open spot? 62% say yes, 27% say no, and 11 are undecided. Will Wyndham serve as a protector for Flair's world title? 55% say yes, 39% say no, 6% say undecided. Did Lex Luger's ego force Wyndham's decision? 33% say yes, 61% say no, 6 say undecided. Did Wyndham have contact with Dylan before making his decision? 79% say yes, 1% say no, and 20% are undecided. Are the Horsemen now the most powerful unit in wrestling? 56% say yes, 23% say no, and 21% are undecided. So the back of the magazine, of course, all the Pro Wrestling Illustrated merchandise. Okay, this has been a review of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, October 1988. So thanks for watching, and I will see you again later.